In a world where silence is safe and power operates behind curtains, standing for truth can be dangerous. Captain Ibrahim Traoré, just 34 years old, shocked the world when he became the youngest head of state. But his rise wasn't scripted. It was sparked by crisis, forged in fire, and driven by a cause bigger than himself. In the eyes of his people, he's a beacon of hope. To others, a threat to the status quo. But when you challenge the system, you become a target. This is the story of a soldier, a servant, and a symbol of African defiance. Ibrahim Traoré was born in 1988 in Coup, a small town in western Burkina Faso. A modest upbringing, no political pedigree, no inherited power, just a boy who believed in learning, discipline, and purpose. He studied geology, digging deep into the earth, unaware that one day he'd be digging deep into the soul of a nation. But Burkina Faso was not at peace. After the fall of revolutionary leader Thomas Sankara and years of corruption and instability, the country was bleeding. By 2015, Islamist insurgency was on the rise. Villages were torched, schools shut, fear reigned. Traoré didn't choose comfort. He joined the army, not to conquer, but to protect. He rose quietly, a student of strategy, a listener, a thinker, and a believer that change starts from within. Fast forward to 2022, Burkina Faso was under military rule. Lieutenant Colonel Damiba had taken power in a coup, promising to restore peace. But the violence only escalated. The people were betrayed. Soldiers were starving on the front lines, children displaced, entire provinces under the control of jihadist militants. The youth began to rise. The air was thick with anger and despair. And in that moment, Traoré made his choice. On September 30, 2022, Traoré and a group of young officers overthrew Damiba in a bloodless coup. The country didn't mourn, it rejoiced. Flags waved, voices chanted his name. For the first time in years, the people felt heard. "We took our responsibility because the country was in danger," he declared, standing before the nation not as a politician, but as a protector. Traoré's leadership marked a radical departure. He rejected foreign interference, ordered the withdrawal of French troops, called out neo-colonial powers, and pivoted Burkina Faso towards sovereignty and African self-reliance. He tightened security, armed local defense groups, and restructured military operations. He visited villages forgotten by the state, sat with displaced citizens, walked with his soldiers, and he began to dream, not just of restoring Burkina Faso, but of a sovereign African bloc. Alongside Mali and Niger, Traoré formed the Alliance of Sahel States, a powerful gesture that challenged the Western-backed ECOWAS bloc. But his boldness sparked fear. Media painted him as radical, threats emerged, assassination rumors swirled. The message was clear: stay in line or be eliminated. Yet, he stood. "If I must die for my people, so be it," he once said. Under Traoré, something changed. Youth across the nation, once disconnected from politics, began joining the movement. Farmers returned to abandoned lands. Teachers reopened schools. Confidence grew. In a few short months, over 50% of once captured territory was reclaimed. Defense brigades, made up of everyday people, were equipped and empowered to fight back. He nationalized mining operations, pushed for transparency, and made it clear Burkina Faso would not be exploited anymore. But the greatest shift wasn't in policies, it was in pride. Burkinabés began to believe in themselves again. A flame long extinguished was reignited, not by promises, but by example. Traoré didn't claim sainthood, he asked for unity. He said, "We are all soldiers, we must all fight, for our land, for our freedom, for our future." Ibrahim Traoré's story is far from over. He still faces immense pressure, internal threats, economic challenges, and international scrutiny. The insurgency hasn't vanished. The weight of leadership is heavy. But Traoré has become more than a man. He's become a movement, a reminder that Africa's destiny should be shaped by Africans. He walks in the shadow of Thomas Sankara, not to imitate, but to reignite a revolution left unfinished. And his journey reminds us, real change isn't safe. It's messy, costly, and often lonely, but it's necessary. So, when you see a young man rise with nothing but courage, standing against giants, understand the target on his back is a symbol of how powerful hope truly is. This is the story of Ibrahim Traoré, a man who refused to be silent, who risked it all for a broken people.
Please don't forget to subscribe as we continue to bring you more insightful, informative, and impactful content. See you in our next video.